Girl, be you. That's all that you can do. Girl, be you. That's all that you.
Oh, hey y'all, and welcome back to the Girl Be You podcast. It is Gigi, your host. And here at this podcast, we are creating a space for you to be your most authentic self in a world that is full of chaos. And baby, we know that the world is chaotic, but don't let your life be chaotic. I'm so glad that you are here joining me again this week. I am so thankful that you guys are here, that you come back and you listen. Please, please, please do me a very big favor and go ahead and review and rate the podcast. If you've been listening for a while, I am sure and I hope that something has been said to help you along your way. And if you listen to this podcast today and there's something that sparks you and encourages you and inspires you, then please share this podcast with your friends, your families, your aunties, your mamas, and your cousins, because the goal is to share this podcast with everyone. Y'all, and with that being said, let's get into this week's episode. Y'all, so I want to start with something that my mama used to always tell me when I was growing up. Actually, she told me two things. Do you have McDonald's money? And baby, there is food at home. I can't tell you how much I agree with those words, how much I stand by those words now that I am older, because the reality is going outside is very, very expensive, child. I feel like every time if I have to go outside and hang out, it's like close to $150. And again, that's the low end of going outside, because there are just some things that I am just not about to pay that much money for. I am always going to ask two questions or a few questions. How much is it? Who all's going to be there? And can I get this at home? Like, I can't even tell you how much I love a good cancel plan. And that's not to say that I don't want to go outside or I don't enjoy being outside, but it really has to be worth my while for me to get myself ready, go outside, and do a whole lot of peopling. And if you are a listener and you are at the age of 40 and coming up on the age of 40, or you've gotten settled in the age of 40, is that just something that happens then, like around that age? Because I don't remember being this way like in my 20s and my 30s. I was very much always outside, okay? I was always outside. And I think that the world changed a whole lot, of course, during the pandemic, but it also changed so much that I just don't have a desire to be outside doing the same things over and over. And I also just don't feel like I want to spend that much of my hard earned money getting subpar food when I can go home and cook it myself. Okay. There's a young lady I still follow her on TikTok, but I'm not sure if this is her official name. But her tagline used to be, or still is, her tagline is, I told y'all there's food at home. And I love that tagline because what she does is she goes and she creates these meals at home. And those meals be looking bomb. And I can't tell you how much I truly, truly enjoy being at home. I enjoy having a slow start to my day, having my cup of coffee, making my breakfast. I really enjoy like making dinner. My mom calls me Susie Homemaker, but I do. I enjoy going out to get my groceries and like chopping them up and prepping them, having my little glass containers, all of the things, honey, because when I'm ready to cook, I want it to be already ready. And don't get me wrong, I love a good fancy maple and ash steak 48 occasionally. But you know what I love more than all of that is scrolling on TikTok and finding how I can make my own bread. Y'all don't know how to make your own bread? Listen, I'm definitely going to try my hand at making my own bread. I know that sounds crazy, but I just want to be able to say that I know how to do it, okay? I scroll on TikTok and I find all of my recipes. Y'all know that over here we're vegan, so I'm always looking for a fun way to change up food. Now, I have a podcast that I talk about like not turning carrots into hot dogs because, baby, I ain't never about to do that, okay? I'm not even a fan of carrots like that. So you do not have to worry about your girl over here trying to make a carrot a hot dog. Because absolutely not. But what I will do is make a great vegetable soup. I will figure out how to make homemade tomato soup, which I did, y'all. Let me tell you something. Down over on the newsletter, if you have subscribed, you can subscribe at www.girlbu.com. Y'all, I made a homemade tomato soup, and when I tell you, it was so good. And yes, I do have a childlike heart, or you can call me a child, because I definitely had tomato soup with grilled cheese, vegan cheese to be exact. And it was chef's kiss, y'all. It was so good. I should make a grilled cheese tonight for dinner, but I already made a one pot pasta. So I think I'm going to eat that. Maybe I'll have both. You never know. We'll see how it all pans out. So I made a tomato soup, which was delicious. And then, which is my famous go to, is vegan nachos. I am trying to get away from the processed meat, the processed like vegan meat, because it's really not that healthy because you can have other alternates to serve as meat. Again, I'm not going absolutely insane, but I do like mushrooms as a great meat alternative. And I make nachos, and it sounds like, girl, anybody can make nachos. But no, it like I go all in with the red onions and the romaine lettuce and guacamole and tomatoes and black beans and the salsa and the vegan sour cream. Y'all, let me tell you something. I be tearing this food down. Because if it's one thing about me, I'm going to eat and I'm going to enjoy eating. So I just think that it is really important for us to all, at some point, learn how to cook our own food and learn how to save our money because, baby, there is food at home. Y'all let me know in the comments. Let me know, do y'all cook a lot? Do y'all like cooking? Like, what's y'all thing? Like, are you more door dashing? And side note, I can't get with the door dashing anymore because I just be so nervous that they are cracking open my bag and eating my fries. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Maybe y'all can still do it, but me, it's gonna be a no for me. I very rarely order food out, and if anything, I'm just gonna go pick it up because the whole DoorDash thing be giving me the icks. All right, y'all, let's move on to my thought this week. So, y'all, I've really been coming to a lot of different crossroads in my life and realizing what's important to me, what I stand for, what I will allow and what I won't allow. And it's really made me rethink a whole lot of things, right? Especially when it comes to my time and my energy. And here's one thing that I've learned is that I can make more money, I can make less money. I can go and, buy new clothes. I can do all of those things. But what I can't do is get my time back. And I'm really evaluating how I spend my time and who I spend my time with and my energy and who I give my energy to. Again, I don't want y'all to think that I'm going off on the deep end like, oh my God, she's this energy based person. Everything is energy. No, I just don't want to feed into things that don't mean anything, right? Like, why am I feeding into if you and your boyfriend had a falling out? Now, if you want to ask me advice, what I think you should do, and you don't take that advice and then you come back to me 5 times with the same issue, guess what? Honey, at this point, I'm going to go with whatever you said because my advice is not valuable to you and you just want someone to listen. So I'm going to take it as you just want me to listen. And I have no more energy to put into that type of situation. Does that make sense? Like that's where I am when it comes to like my energy. My time, I'm not wasting my time. I can't get 5 minutes back. If I spend that 5 minutes, there is no currency, nothing that can transfer me to get an extra 5 minutes. So I want to make sure that I spend my time properly. And if you are going to waste my time, baby, move on. Okay. I'm not going to waste my time and I'm not going to let you waste my time. So while I was thinking along these lines and while I've been thinking that way, I've also just been thinking about again, where you put your time. And for me, I'm at a huge crossroad when it comes to what I want to do with the work, my passion, my career. And I came across this tip, this anti-burnout tip of the day. And I loved it so much because it really gave me pause and it made me think about some things. And it says, don't get stuck in a bad job, situation, or dynamic just because you aren't 100% certain of what the next step should be. Take that out, G, and start again. Don't get stuck in a bad job, a situation, or a dynamic because you aren't 100% certain what the next step should be. You can't guarantee that you'll make the perfect decision, but you can take what you've learned about yourself so far to make a more informed one. Make a move and remember that you can adjust whenever you need to. And I love that because it kind of goes into what we're going to be talking about today, but it also gave me pause to remind myself that I don't necessarily have to continue to pour into a place, person, thing, or a situation that does not um, foster or garner good results, right? I've done that for so long. I mean, I've had different friendships and different job opportunities that I stayed longer than I should have and just different places that I just felt so tied to because I felt like, well, if I do leave this, what's next? And you may not even know what's next. Even if you have properly planned it all out and you're like, yes, I know what's going to happen. There's a whole lot of chance that things can go completely wrong or they can go completely well. But what I do know is that I can no longer stay in a situation or will no longer stay in a situation that zaps my time, that creates burnout, that zaps my energy. I cannot do it. Life is way too short and I just won't do it. And so if you're listening and you're at a place where you're like, I know that maybe I shouldn't be in this place, but I don't know what's next. I want to let this be. I want to remind you, girl, believe again. Believe again in yourself and know that you can take a step and it can happen. But what you can never do is stay someplace and get the same results and think that things are going to be different. You got to step out. You got to believe again. Let's go over to the topic for today. So I talk a lot about my experience growing up and my experiences working, my experiences in different situations. One thing that I feel like I haven't talked a lot about is when I am in these situations, the transition from one thing to the next and learning to believe in myself again. One thing that I've realized is that at each one of these transitions that I've had in my life, whether it was college, whether it was a job, whether it was, you know, making a pivot, in making a pivot, you do have to make a choice, right? But you also have to make the choice to believe in yourself. You gotta believe again, right? And, I think about my journey from like being super eager after college, getting a full time job, working in corporate, and just having this faith to say, anything that I go after, I can believe. There was always a point of a little bit of self doubt. But I always found a way to kind of push through that. I remember working for a temp agency and I was working for Chicago Sun-Times and y'all literally, I couldn't even tell you what my job was. I think I was like filling out an Excel sheet and I was done with my day by like 12. But I ended up staying at work all day because I was like, I gotta make this money. Like this temp agency is taking half of my check. So I gotta, do what I gotta do. And so I was sitting on this one side of, the cubicle of the office. And this was way back in the day when folks was going to work and working in cubicles and newspapers were a big old thing. And I remember even at my young age, I was like, I believe that I can get to the other side and work with the CEOs. And when I finally made it over there, I was like, oh my God, I made it. And working over there with them, it was still a temp agency. I was still working with a temp agency, but I was like, I believed that I could get over to this other side and work with the CEOs. And I was able to build relationships with people and make friends with people because I was like, I just believe that I'm going to climb this corporate ladder. And I remember one of the CEOs that I was talking to, and I was telling him, I believe his name was John. And I was telling him, I was like, I just want to work full time for Chicago. Sometimes I think this is going to be great. And he looked at me and he said, you're too big for Chicago sometime. You need to go and get a full corporate job because you're working for this temp agency. And I was so nervous. I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And he was like, no, you can do it. And I remember believing that I could, and a door opened. And then I started working at a marketing agency and I was the receptionist, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I am working in corporate America and I have a real job and, all of these things. And at each point I had this belief, even though I like ran up against the wall, I still had this belief that I believe, right? And then after that, I was like, I don't want to work in corporate anymore. I want a new job. Well, I was working in corporate, so I wanted another corporate job that was making more money. And I didn't really believe, but I just kept pressing. And I was like, I just gotta believe. I gotta believe. And one of the ladies, Mama Ida, she jump started my faith and she was like, baby, you gotta believe. And I believed, and I was like, I'm gonna actively work on getting this job. And another door opened and I had this big corporate job, even bigger than the one I had before. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So then I had a few more steps of going from corporate. I went from a few more steps from working in corporate to going to a nonprofit. And then in nonprofit, it was just like my eyes were open to all these possibilities. And there were so many things that were being unlocked inside of me with my gifts and my talents and all these things. And fast forward to all the experiences that I had of moving to Dallas and starting from the bottom and starting over. And then recently, I felt like I was at another place and I just felt tired. You ever feel tired? Like, yo, I'm tired of believing. I am so tired of pushing past and trying to believe that it's going to work. And, maybe it's not meant for me. Maybe it's, maybe it's just meant for me to just have a regular old, regular, dead end job. And it's not, sometimes we go real far. We go real far, don't we? And so over the last couple of months, I have to be honest and say that my faith has been low, my belief has been low, and I've just been struggling. You ever been there? Like I've just been struggling because, when you think about over the years and how much you have like worked towards something and it not pop for you. And I had got so deep in my comparison that I literally was looking at people like, we started at the same place. Actually, they started behind me. And look at them. They're better than me and they're doing all this stuff. And I had got really low, y'all, real low. And when I tell you it was hard, it's been hard, it's been tough. This past summer has been extremely hard for me. And then when it felt like things were turning come the fall, it's like I fell back again and I was just like, what is going on? What is this? And I really wanted to give up. When I say give up, I didn't want to do another podcast. I didn't want to write another blog. I didn't want to do anything else. I was going to be fine with just however the cookie crumbles, whichever way it goes, then whatever. It's whatever. And that's how low I had gotten. That's how I just could not, I felt like I just couldn't turn the corner. I couldn't get out of it. And then, I just decided let me just try one more time. Let me try one more time. Let me just try one more time. And if I think about it too long, I'll get emotional because I almost gave up. I almost gave up on the dream that I had because I felt like I had the pom poms out for everybody else. I've always been popping the champagne for everybody else. And if you're a true friend of mine, and if you in my circle chat, you know that I am going to hype you up every single time. I am going to celebrate you. I don't care if you got a new car. I'm going to be over with, "Pow, pow, 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 pow. I'm so excited." I am going to be that friend because that is who I am at my core. If you start a new job, baby, I'm celebrating. Let me take you out for a drink. If you buy a new house, if you get a new place, I am the champagne popper all day long for my friends and for my people. But somewhere along the way, when it came to me, I didn't have that belief. I didn't have that energy. I didn't have that celebratory uh, mindset because I was just like, it ain't gonna happen. And, I had been watching so many sermons and listening to different sermons and, trying to jumpstart my faith, trying to jumpstart my belief again. And what I will say is, even if it doesn't feel like it's happening, even if you don't feel that that jump is happening, please hear me when I say, just try one more time. Try one more time for your dream, girl. Try one more time to believe again. Try one more time to speak life into your dream. So this past Sunday, my husband and I went to my old church with my pastor, Pastor Hannah. I always say he's my forever pastor because it is what it is. But so we went, and the sermon that he was sharing, y'all, when I tell you it was life changing, life changing. Now, prior to this, I had decided, I said, I'm just going to give it one more try. And no matter what happens, I'm going to just try one more time. And I'm just going to push through one more time. I'm just going to believe one more time. I'm going to write one more blog. I'm going to send out one more newsletter. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm just going to do it one more time because if I do it one more time, then maybe it'll spark something in me. Right. And so after I had been doing that leading up to when we went to church this past Sunday, went to church and Pastor Hannah was sharing how God is about to awaken your dream again. Y'all, and when I tell you, I'm not, I don't like going to church and being like, yes, yes, Pastor, you better preach. Because I feel like this is just me personally, when you do that, you miss so much that's being said in between that, right? But so when he was saying that, my spirit was just like, is anybody else hearing this? And it was literally a message that I felt like was so for me because it hit my heart. It hit my heart so much that I was just like, thank you. I got to believe one more time. And there was one thing that he said that really stood out. And he said that God will allow your dream within you to catch its heartbeat again. So y'all know that I lost my mind, right? When I was listening, because I was like, excuse me, sir. Yes. Yes. One more time. And so after that sermon, I just felt I just felt like just one more time, G. Just keep going one more time. And when I say one more time, that doesn't mean like, oh, one more time, I'm gonna send one more newsletter and then I'm done. Like, no, that one more time is sparking me to keep going. Because y'all, I literally, since that one more time, it's been like 9 more times. Since that one more time, it's been, me just getting behind the mic and saying, keep recording, G. I don't care if it's 2 people listening. I don't care if you haven't gone viral, because it's not about going viral. It's about fulfilling what God put in your heart. And that is what I want to do. I just want to one more time keep going. And maybe you're listening and you feel like, girl, I hear you. I understand, but I don't got one more time. I'm telling you, one more time. Just try it one more time, girl. Just go back to it one more time. I believe that that thing, that dream, that passion, it can be ignited with one more time, right? And so I just have 3 points to help you believe again. Number one, embrace your potential. Believe in yourself, recognize and embrace your unique talents, skills, and potential. Understand that you possess qualities and abilities that make you special and make you capable of achieving great things. Girl, embrace your potential. Number two, be resilient in the face of challenges. Y'all, it is so easy to fall out in the floor, cry, scream, and holler, because I done it. And I'm sure you have too. But believing in yourself again involves developing a resilience to face your challenges. That one more time will lead you to a challenge, but you are built for it and you can handle it. That challenge is not going to kill you. That challenge is what's going to make you. Understand that setbacks and failures, girl, they are a natural part of any journey and they do not define your worth or your potential. Be resilient in the face of challenges. And number three, have self compassion and positive talk. I can't tell you how amazing it is to speak to yourself with kind words. Not only is it amazing, but it is so important. You have to stop the soundtrack of negativity. When I tell you I am the queen of negativity, I can always find, see, something wrong. But it is work to work on being positive with yourself and changing the soundtrack about you. Cultivate a compassionate and positive relationship within yourself through mindful self talk. Don't allow that one negative thing to carry you through to the day. Sometimes I have to hype myself up. And I told y'all in one of my newsletters, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter. And I always quote, sometimes I have to remind myself by quoting Jay-Z's lyric when he says, Blue told me to remind you fools. F what you talking about. I'm that. Okay? That's what he said. That's what he said. Replace self-doubt and negative thoughts with affirmations and encouragement. Even if you have to take 3 lines and say, I am safe and I have everything that I need. I believe in myself. I love myself, flaws and all. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am courageous. Girl, be you. If that is your affirmation, say it every single day. Stand in the mirror and say it. Believe it. And don't stop saying it until it gets into your heart. Don't stop saying it until you truly, truly believe again. Don't stop saying it until you go after the things that you have written down in your journal. Don't stop saying it until you go after the dreams that you had as a little girl. Sometimes we have to pause and think about the dreams we had as a little girl, because that little girl within us was unafraid. She went after everything. She didn't second guess herself. She was like, I am fearless. And that's how we have to be. Stop letting the world make you fearful and be fearless. Let's just recap those 3 things. And I want you to carry this with you for the rest of your life. Listen to this over and over if you need to. Embrace your potential, your gifts, your talents, your skills that nobody else can do. That's why you're important, girl. That's why I'm telling you, girl, be you, because you have to embrace your potential. You have everything that you need inside of you. Number 2, have the resilience to face challenges. Life is not going to be easy. And I'm not saying that it got to be a struggle for the rest of your life, but you will come up against challenges. But know that with those challenges, you are going to make it. Understand that your setbacks and your failures are a natural part of your journey. But that's all the part of the journey. You got to take the good with the bad because it all makes you a better person. And the third point, self-compassion and positive talk. Baby, if you don't start speaking good about you, who else will? You got to rehearse that to yourself over and over and over and over again if you have to. Cultivate a compassionate and positive relationship with yourself. Be kind to you, girl. Stop being so hard on your own self. You have come so far. You have overcome so much. And you are about to walk into one of the best seasons of your life. And I just know it because, girl, we both walking into the best season of our lives. Y'all, come on. Believe again. Believe in your dream again. Believe that it can happen. I believe for you. Even though I said I gotta start believing in myself, I'm still gonna pop that champagne for you. I'm still gonna bring out my pom poms for you. I'm still gonna celebrate you because I believe in you and I want you to believe again. Okay? Promise me you're gonna believe again. All right, y'all. That's all I got for this week's episode. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me this week. I just love sharing with you all and I love creating this community. Make sure that you write a review, share this podcast with your friends, your aunties, your cousins, everybody. I'm not going to stop until the world hears about Girl Be You, until everyone is saying Girl Be You, until the world is reminding everyone next to them, reminding their daughters, reminding their aunties, Girl Be You. Make sure that you join the Girl Be You community. Y'all know that I am starting up the book club again. If you want to join, we are reading Black authors, Black stories. We might sprinkle in a few other authors. We shall see. But if you want to be a part of the book club, make sure that you go to the website, girlbeu.com, and sign up. Also, make sure you sign up for the newsletter because every week, y'all, I share all of my good recipes, all the books that I'm reading, all the good stuff that I don't really share on all of the platforms. But make sure you sign up for the newsletter, join the Patreon. I am sharing all of our wedding stuff, our honeymoon stuff, and just conversations that I have that are exclusive to the Patreon. So make sure you go on down to the Patreon and purchase your sweatshirt and your mug, y'all. I got a new sweatshirt and a new mug. It's different from the last one that I've had. It's just in time for Christmas. So going on down to the website. Everything can be found on the website. I'm having it in the show notes, but make sure you go down to the website to get all of the things. Y'all, follow me on Instagram, G_girlbu. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me this week on the podcast. I love y'all big time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. Girl, with every step, be you. Until next time, bye, y'all.
Girl, be you. That's all that you can do. Girl, be you. That's all that you can